Well, it's been absolutely ages since I've done a video, and I kept saying I was going to do regular ones because I thought it'd be really good for me. And I haven't, and I can't promise I'm going to either. I'm just not very good at being consistent. Anyway, so what's happened is that I had to go back to the GP because I've been having worsening of everything. Raising of my medication for my blood pressure has not helped, and I'm in the process of doing a week's worth of blood pressure readings because blood pressure is through the roof again. I created a massive stink with rheumatology. I rang them. I said, what the hell's going on? This is ridiculous now. I've been waiting for ages. In November, my doctor wrote a letter to her as well. And then what it turned out is that the rheumatologist had looked at my notes and decided that she didn't want to see me for whatever reason, which I've made a complaint about because it's absolutely disgusting. Because she was going on about seeing me in like 2019 for my arthritis, and I didn't actually want to see her about that. The only thing I wanted to talk to her about was to get her input on my pain meds. But the other problems I wanted to talk to her about weren't actually connected to my osteoarthritis. And it's almost like she didn't read my emails or listen to what I was trying to say to her or anything. So she discharged me in March. Well, we're 2021, March 2021. But she hadn't actually informed anybody. So she hadn't told my GP she discharged me. So my GP's writing to her thinking, that it's all still relevant. And she'd actually not even bothered telling them, basically. So I had a massive long conversation with my GP, who I have to say has been brilliant because she's really been fighting my corner. So I got a really attention-seeking pussycat here. She's like, "Give me fast now." She did something called, I'm not sure the exact wording, it's kind of like where she writes to them through the system. It's like the digital system. And it basically they can't ignore it. They have to reply. So it's absolutely mad. So the haematologist who they've asked to weigh in, who asked for me to have a vasculitis screen. And the vasculitis screen was negative, except for that my plasma viscosity is above the high reference range. And actually my plasma viscosity and something called your erythrocyte sedimentation rate and my CRP have been above the high reference rate on a few occasions. And in fact, on one occasion, I was given a pulse of steroids because of it. And this plasma viscosity has been more up than it's been down, because I can actually look at my records and see that it's been up and then down, and you can actually see it's gone up more than it's actually been down. And this is kind of can point towards autoimmune and all that kind of thing. And it's she was, so haematology have said that they are thinking a connective tissue disease, which I've mentioned before in my previous videos. So she's not listen to any of this, the rheumatologist. So she was going on about my fibromyalgia, and she then was saying that perhaps I had sleep apnea issues. Because she was talking about my choking, even though I made it clear that my choking happens in the day as well. So you can't, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I've got a health watch thing. And, if I was having problems at night, it would alert me. And it has never woke me up to alert me. That's the problem. Anyway, she told my GP about a doctor in Swindon, And weirdly, I already knew about this doctor. And as soon as she mentioned this doctor's name, because I knew who she was, because I've been talking to a charity called the BSSA, and they're kind of like the British Sjogren's Society, and this doctor's kind of like an influential figure in this group. And they've been telling me to push for a diagnosis, because they were sort of saying, you know, if it's not Sjogren's, it could be something similar to that, or it could be Sika syndrome, which is very similar to Sjogren's. And this lady, it's like her specialty, it's what she does. So as soon as the GP said about this lady, I said, that's who I want to be referred to. And that was in March, I think, March of this year. And basically I'm seeing them on the 20th of May. I've got an appointment at 10:30 to have a lip biopsy, which is not going to be very pleasant, where they take, you've got like loads of little glands inside your mouth here, and they're going to take a little sample of them to test. I'm assuming there's going to be other things. The BSSA ladies recommended that I write to her ahead of my appointment so that I can then use my appointment time well. Because obviously I struggle with my memory and stuff, and I don't want to forget stuff. So I've done as best I've tried to keep it down to 3 pages, which is really difficult when you've got a lot of medical history going on. So I've tried not to waffle, and I've put it all in the 3 pages. And then the GP said that, because I have these things where, like, when this swells up, I keep getting rashes on my face, yeah. And and every time I'd say to the GP about it, I don't have the rash. So when I got the rash this time, I managed to get photographs of it. So I've got photographs of that. And then the other thing as well is that a few times when I've gone out in the sun, I've come out in like hives on my arms. So I've taken pictures of that because, again, you know, you go to the doctors and you haven't got the bloody hives. It's really difficult. And then I've been taking pictures of the bruising, because I've been having quite a lot of bruising the last couple of weeks. So I've taken pictures of all the bruising as well. Just because it's always the way, you go to the doctors and it's not there. So the good news is that I've got the lip biopsy at 10:30, and then I see the consultant at 2. So I'm assuming that they're going to take the test, and that hopefully that means I'll get the results of the test when I'm there. And typically my husband's having his foot repair on the 17th, so he can't go with me. So my sister, she's going with me, because I'm a bit nervous about it, because they're going to cut into my mouth and take these cells and things. As predicted in my previous video, I'm still waiting to talk to the eating disorder clinic. I'm still having problems with binge eating. I managed to lose a little bit of weight, and then I put it back on because my mum had a heart attack. And my husband had COVID, so I got really stressed out because he was really poorly. And then right in the middle of him being unwell with COVID, my dog, Phoebe, who's my Springer Spaniel, she got something called colitis because she's got really bad arthritis in her front paw. So we've been trying to medicate her through the vets. And unfortunately, it triggered colitis, which is really bad because it's like where the bowel gets inflamed, and it was just like constant diarrhea, and she was so poorly with it, bless her heart. So I had all that going on, and then literally just coming out of that, and then my mum had a heart attack. So I've had quite a lot of stress. So yeah, I kind of responded my usual way and started comfort eating again. You know, I don't want to be like this. You know, I recognise that fact, but I also recognise I need help with it. I've tried to do it by myself, and I just can't do it. So I try. I'm trying to do some groundwork with Spirit because they're still not riding, because he's a really good form of therapy. But I'm still in a lot of pain, so it's really difficult to do anything physical, to be quite honest. Anything physical hurts. Constantly hobbling like an old woman. I mean, the good side about my job is that we get a lot of holidays, so I do get chances to have lots of rest. And I did do, I just had the Easter holiday, 2 weeks off, and then I wasn't very well with the chest infection, which made me really poorly. And so previous to the Easter holiday, I was really poorly, couldn't breathe, really scary. Wasn't COVID, but still really scary. Yeah, so, but yeah, I spent a lot of time in the garden last week, which was really nice. And I've done some planting. I've just tried to do little things, because I was still struggling with this bloody fatigue, it just won't go. I feel absolutely shattered all the time. Every time I have a day off, I'm like struggling to even get up off the sofa. I just don't want to go out the door, and I have to really talk myself into everything, because everything hurts. Like, I do a little walk with the dogs, and like I tried to do, there's a place near me, there's a nice walk, it's all flat and they've got loads of benches, and so I could like walk to a bench, throw the ball from them for a bit, because they love that, walk to another bench, throw the ball from a bit, and that's what I've been doing. And just try and do little, and then if I can't manage that, then I take them with me to the yard, because quite lucky that I can throw the ball for them. They've got like paddocks, I can throw the ball for them in the paddocks, and that way they sort of get exercise that way. But we've been doing that a lot lately because I haven't been feeling up to taking them out. I'm managing the occasional one, but I have to just go take it. I have to take it so slow. I feel like a snail because I just can't walk fast enough, because my knee's really bad. Because my knee's really, it's not 100% still. Like, I struggle with like undulating, you know, things, or anything in a hill, or if I got to walk down a hill it hurts, if I got to go up a hill it hurts. And then, you know, I've always had problems with my feet, and because I've got arthritis in my feet, and I'm falling apart basically, like old lady. But I think if I lost some weight, I think it would help a lot. So need to get this eating thing sorted out. I need to, because just I don't want to be this weight. I hate being this weight. So I'm 17 stone 6 at the moment, which is really bad. I haven't been that big for ages, not since like 2006, because I managed to get my weight down to sort of fairly goodish. I mean, it's still overweight, but a lot better for me. And the healthiest I ever was when I was doing keto, but I just find it really restrictive because I really like pasta. And but I felt really healthy on there, and I think it's because I cut out a lot of the inflammatory foods, and I felt really healthy on it because I was very careful. I did careful keto. I wasn't having saturated fats, so I was having you know, like the healthy stuff, like olive oil and avocado oil and stuff like that. Wasn't eating, because some of these people, they eat friggin' tons of butter and lard, and I didn't do that, and I did have pop. So I suppose it's more lazy keto, but I did lose loads of weight on it. I went down to like 13 stone something, which is the lowest I've been for flipping years. I can't remember, like, because when I first got diagnosed with my hypothyroidism, I went up really big. I was like 19 stone, I think, something like that. It was massive, and that was the worst I'd ever been. But they didn't know what was causing it for ages, and then like the doctor said, oh, let's do this blood test, and then found out I had this hypothyroidism, because they just made out I was unhealthy and not doing anything, and it wasn't the case at all. And I managed to lose it, and I got down to about 12.3, something like that. I'm really big boned anyway. I don't suit being really low. Like when I was young, I was really skinny and I just looked ridiculous. because I got really big shoulders and big hips, and you could just see all my bones, and it just looked awful. So I look better at like around the 10 stone mark because of my bone structure. I look much better. I look healthy. So that's kind of what I've been aiming for, if I can get the bloody weight off. I can't believe I actually rang them the other day because I was kind of like, well, like, you know, I was referred in like November, and I know I sort of said in my video, well, you know, this could take ages, but I wasn't expecting it to take that long. I was thinking, you know, a few months maybe, but like we're going into May next week, and it's like, that's like over 6 months. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely mad. So yeah, I did chase them, but I haven't heard anything, so I'm going to have to chase them again, I think. But yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Oh, my solicitors have got to the point now where they are writing to the defendant with their offer, my first offer, which is quite generous. I'm not going to say how much because it is quite a nice generous amount. I won't get the first offer, but actually I'm really croaky today. This all coughing thing, it drives me mad. But yeah, potentially we could buy a house. Potentially. So that'd be quite nice. Anyway, I shall hopefully try and keep everyone updated. I can't promise it'll be a regular thing, but I'll try. Cheerio.